So once again, Beck has jumped back into the poppier realms of his musical career. He's had quite the career out of most musicians. I mean, he started out on this kind of like pop rap stuff with his older albums, Odelay being one of his best albums easily. He kind of went poppier from there and then did a complete 180 on us and did Sea Change back in like 2001, I think it was, which is an amazing album if you've never heard it. A beautiful singer-songwriter album, I highly recommend it. Then, of course, he dabbled into other things too. He's very stylistically diverse, which I like about him. But the last album he released was Morning Phase, and that was a very dark and harrowing album. It was very mellow. It won him a Grammy. It was a very good album, which I think some critics did kind of dismiss, but I think it was a good album. Now here though, he's decided that that stuff is kind of over and we're back on the pop stuff, and I've got to say I'm not really feeling this one at all. I mean, sure, there are some good songs. I can't deny that. This isn't a terrible album, don't worry. I wouldn't call this a terrible album. I like the intro track, it's pretty catchy. Um, I still think Dreams is a pretty good song, but here's the problem though. We have a new version of Dreams that barely sounds any different to the original, and the original came out well over a year ago. We have Wow on this album, which is an awful song. I mean, the beat on that one is like the worst beat I've heard like in so long, and just the way Beck on it was like wow, 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 wow. I mean, he doesn't sound like that, but you know, it's so crap. I mean, this song's terrible, and that song came out a while ago too, and I don't know why this is on the album. It's just we don't need either of these songs on the album when they're already so old. And then the album closes off with the original Dreams. I don't know if that's just because it's like a bonus track or my version of the album on my Apple Music is different, but like why do we have Dreams and then at the end of the album we have Dreams again? It just doesn't. I mean, like if you're gonna structure an album like a track listing, that's not really how you do an album. Really, it just feels a bit odd. But aside from those tracks, I mean, everything else on this album is just disco pop. Like it's just disco, really. I mean, the thing is that Beck doesn't really do it that well. I mean, I don't think his vocals always fit these style of songs. He sounds kind of old and dated. It's a bit awkward to hear him sing like this. I'm just not feeling it at all. You know what this is like? You know what this is like? This is like when Arcade Fire attempted this stupid disco stuff on Everything Now, and it sounded really dated, and it basically just sounded like old people doing disco, and that's kind of this Beck album. But I feel like people will give Beck more of a pass though because he's done this before, but I'm not going to give him a pass because this sounds really cheesy. No Distraction was a fine song up until he starts going pull you to the left, pull you to the right, da da da. It's just so like corny and like oh. I mean, yeah, the beats on this album are quite catchy a lot of the time, but I think the problem is Beck. I think it shouldn't be Beck that's singing over these beats. It just feels awkward and a bit stale, you know? I'm just a bit wanting a bit more of an oomph to them, which it does give at times, but I'm just not feeling it from Beck. That's the problem. I mean, some of the lyrics as well are just barely passable. I mean, I just want to stay up all night with you. It's like, really? Just ugh. It's like Uncle Disco is back at the family reunion just to make us cringe. I mean, some of the beats do remind me of artists like, you know, like Hot Chip. And the thing with Hot Chip is that they always pull it off so well. Like, you can tell that they're kind of like a bit lame and a bit geeky, just like Beck is. But that doesn't really ever show through in their music. They just pull it off with so much conviction, so much confidence, and like Beck is that kind of guy that's like trying to hit on a girl and just thinks he's really cool and way better than he actually is, but everyone just knows he's like kind of lame and everyone's just like, what are you doing? That's this album to me. Beck fans will probably consume this up and call it a fun Beck album, which it is. It is quite fun. For me though, it's not for me. It's not my kind of thing. I like my pop music to have a bit more of a like something that's not sounding stale and lame. Yeah, I'd give this a D. I've heard better before, and Beck's not really doing this any justice. What did you think of the album, though? Let me know. Am I a bit too harsh on this album? Should I just let myself go and dance to the grooves? Or is it lame like it is to me, just the same way you've heard it? Let me know. Let me know. Subscribe to the channel for more reviews, hit that bell to get notifications when I upload a review, and have a good day.